All right, fair use, fair use. And Shalom, Shalom. It's your brother Wab Rum. You're back with another lesson, Lord willing, to be edifying. I want to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Waha, Rakak Wadash, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shah. Double honors to the apostles, elders, bishops of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 men of the Lord you see on the highways and byways, prophesying in the name and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, also the correct doctrine. I want to send a shalom to the one-third men, women, and children that will escape the judgment of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah by their faith. Just got another lesson I want to bring out through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah. The hammer of the earth, as we know it as being Babylon the Great, which the Edomites control and rule. And DT is the ruler, Nimrod, in this modern day, which he is him coming back in a reincarnation if you can receive it. But the point is, he is being stretched thin, and the Lord is stretching him thin, and the Lord is going to show you that he's going to take him down, man. The Lord is going to fight against Esau, and he said he would have war with Amalek from generation to generation. And we know who the Amalekites are. And DT has bowed down to the Amalekites, and he's also converted to being an Amalekite. But the point is, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah is going to fight against Esau, and he has no clue. He think his rule is going to last forever, and that's that trick bag. Is man, the Lord's going to pull out of it. The trick bag. He's definitely in it. Now let's hear the pride of Esau, as you know how prideful they are.
He better watch it or we'll take very serious action against him and his country.
The president of Colombia in a recent interview said that if you won't change, he thinks that people should get rid of you.
We're talking about now Colombia, the country, not the university.
Yes.
Go ahead. He said what?
He said that if you won't change, then perhaps you will be gotten rid of. Do you view that as a threat?
Well, he's a thug and bad guy. He's a guy that is making a lot of drugs. We've just, as of today, stopped all payments going to Colombia, the country Colombia. Also, the school Columbia, no, we settled. We made a settlement with him. But no, he's a thug, and he's a bad guy, and he's hurt his country very badly. They're doing very poorly, Colombia. They make cocaine. They have cocaine factories. They grow all sorts of crap that's drugs, bad drugs coming into the United States, goes generally through Mexico. And he better watch it or we'll take very serious action against him and his country. His country is... What he has led his country into is a death trap.
And see how he speaks about these nations, and he doesn't know that the Lord is setting him up and stretching him thin to bring the hammer of the earth, because he thinks he still has the hammer of the earth. He still thinks he has it, not knowing that's being stripped from him. And the Lord got him in a great trap, man. This is going to be unspeakable and unthought of from what the Lord is going to do to Esau Edom. His nation is being torn down, and DT is the face of it, man. And they don't have no clue, man. They don't have no understanding of that. He thinks as somebody come against him, he just talk bad about him, and everybody will agree with him. This is not the 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s, where you can use your military might to just bully the nations. These nations are through. Even his own allies have said that this man cannot be the ruler of the West. And that's talking about the NATO and the EU countries, man. Let's continue on.
Follow up on her question to you, because the New York Times is reporting that your legal team is seeking $230 million from your own Justice Department now in response to the investigations into you. Is that something you want your legal team to do?
I don't know what the numbers are. I don't even talk to them about it. All I know is that they would owe me a lot of money, but I'm not looking for money. I'd give it to charity or something. I would give it to charity, any money. But look, what they did, they rigged the election. And as you know, we had, in one case, 60 Minutes had to pay us a lot of money. George Slobodanopoulos had to pay us a lot of money, and they already paid. They paid me a lot of money because what they did was wrong. And, when somebody does what's wrong. Now, with the country, it's interesting because I'm the one that makes the decision, right?
So that is Donald Trump admitting that he is ordering his own Justice Department to pay him $230 million of taxpayer money, your taxpayer money, because he was legitimately prosecuted in the past. It is shockingly outrageous and an example of unprecedented corruption. And as he himself admits, I'm the one making the decision. I am ordering my own government to compensate me. This is staggering. And he was confronted about it to his face by reporters in the Oval Office, and he just doubled down. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, folks, we're going to play some other clips about this and dive into the reporting behind it. But here's the rest of that clip, and we'll move on to a couple of others.
And, that decision would have to go across my desk. And it's awfully strange to make a decision where I'm paying myself. In other words, did you ever have one of those cases where you have to decide how much you're paying yourself in damages? But I was damaged very greatly, and any money that I would get, I would give to charity.
Number one, we don't know that that's true. Number two, you're not paying yourself. You're ordering your Justice Department to pay you with taxpayer dollars. It's not your money. And it just goes to show how fucked up this guy is that he thinks it is his money. Your money, your taxpayer money, he thinks belongs to him. I'll give it to charity. Says who? And even if that were true, does that actually undermine anything at all? Charity is one thing, but those taxpayer dollars probably could be better spent for what their actual purpose is, funding the government, doing things in the government. And again, that's assuming foolishly that Trump would actually follow through on it. We have no reason to believe it. Again, we'll get into the reporting, but here's another clip on this topic.
Are you asking the Justice Department to look into the federal investigations into you and look for compensation, and how much are you asking for?
Who's asking for what?
Are you asking the Justice Department to pay you compensation for your federal investigation?
So there you go, man. You can't tell me this place ain't finished. He is about to sue his own government and to pay him for things that happened in the past that the people that was ruling at that time, they're no longer in. So he basically saying he ain't gonna even take the money. He would just give it to charity. So why even pursue that? So that goes to show you that he is the face of the end, the last president. He's the end of it, man. The last Trump. I mean, that's plain as day now, man. If you believe this place is going to get better and get back to normal, you're delusional, because he is the symbol of this place going down, man. He's the apostles always say he look like an eagle, and he is the end of this eagle, man. The end of the eagle.
Donald Trump is literally destroying the existing White House to build his $250 million ballroom that he promised us was not going to interfere with the historic old structure. This is what they're doing today. They're literally destroying the White House to build his stupid ballroom. The ballroom's going to be equal to the size of the White House that already exists. That's how gaudy and hideous this is going to be. It's going to double the size of the White House. Let me read you the quote from Trump. It won't interfere with the current building. It'll be near it, but not touching it, and pays total respect to the existing building, which I'm the biggest fan of. It's my favorite. It's my favorite place. I love it. He's tearing it down, guys. This part of the White House, the East Wing, has been around since 1902, traditionally used by first ladies. That's a good 123 years, guys. 123 years of American history that this guy has just destroyed because no one has the backbone to stand up to him and say, stop. It's also a metaphor for our entire country, what he's doing today. He's tearing it down bit by bit, and nobody is saying no.
And you hear what he said, it's a metaphor for what he's doing, tearing this place down bit by bit. And we, through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, we can see it, man. He is the end, man. He is the final eagle of this man's system, man. Which I say the last eagle, meaning this nation's symbol has been the eagle. And I think it just basically confirmed that it was the eagle a couple years ago, if I'm not mistaken. But it's always been the sign of the Edomites, man. The eagle. And he's the last eagle to rule, man. That's what I mean by that. Because you can't tell me this place is going to get any better from this. The government is not coming open anytime soon, man. is not coming back. And I was speaking to my one of the ox today. I said, man, this ain't the government ain't gonna never open again. That's it, man. Because as UK has introduced the digital ID, Babylon is soon to introduce it as well. But they want to make the people so uh, um, um, so much. I say they want to make the people basically bag for the MOTB. That's why the government is not going to be reopened. There's no point for them to reopen it now because they have an agenda that they have to get accomplished. They got to make these people weak and suffer and bring total chaos, and that's what they're doing to you through these alphabet gangs, man. And it's not going to get better from here. Check this out.
ICE is apparently buying missiles now. Yeah, missiles. A new report came out detailing just how ICE has been spending money since Trump got back into office, including a massive 700% increase in small arms and munitions that they've compared to the same time period in 2024. And yeah, well, that increase, scary. It's the missiles that has me very concerned at this point. Because not only has ICE increased significantly the amount of chemical weapons they've been purchasing, but apparently they have also been buying up guided missile warheads with explosive components. And if you're standing there being like, well, they would never use missiles inside of America, they would never actually bomb anything inside of America. You have to remember back in 1985, Philadelphia police dropped an improvised bomb on a residential home that ended up destroying 60 other homes. They wiped out an entire block in a black neighborhood in order to take out one group. So it's possible.
And you hear what he said, and that was talking about the Philadelphia bombing of a so-called black neighborhood, which was Jake's, man. And they know their history. Esau knows their history. And you notice every man I brung up on these videos have been Edomites, man. They know that this place is spiraling down. Their kingdom is coming to an end. And they're bringing it to the forefront. Even though they might be a DT supporter or not. They know that this man has ended what they've known as the American dream. These farmers today, they going berserk because they don't have any way to sell their products anymore. The beef, Trump is bringing the Argentina beef into America. Their soybean and corn crops they can't sell to China because China is not taking anything from Babylon the Great, man. So you're seeing this man's system being torn down from the inside out, and he's using DT to do it. And there's no way that they can rebound from what is being done. The debt went up to what I think $38 trillion. They are documenting 38 trillion now, which it was. They said it's going up 500 billion every month or something like that. I don't know the detail, but that's the point, man. This place is not going to rebound. It's not going to get better, and he is the face of the end of Babylon the Great, man. Let me get this scripture real quick, and I go right back to the videos. This is Jeremiah 50 and verse 22. It says, "A sound of battle is in the land, and of a great destruction. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations?" And see, they're going to use the alphabet gangs to destroy this place as well, man. They're going to use missiles in their own country, man. And they're buying guided missiles like they're in a war-torn area, man. Like they're fighting a small third world country. So they're going to fight against their own nation, man. Because you wouldn't order these weapons and stockpile them if you're not going to use them. No one is wasting money to do that. 23 says, "How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become the desolation among the nations? I have laid a snare for thee." See that this is a trap the Lord has laid for him. And thou art also taken, O Babylon, And how was not, and thou was not aware, Salakia. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man. See, the Lord is bringing this before your face because your judgment is soon to come. You have came against the Lord, man. And the Lord is going to pay you back for everything you did in the earth, especially to the children of Israel, man. Now, the other nations, we know, are going to turn against Babylon the Great. But you're seeing the unfolding of the alliance between the West.
Previous presidents have implied that they would go to war to maintain transatlantic unity. And this president looks as if he's going to give it away on a plate.
Aren't we at risk of driving a wedge between ourselves and the United States by being so obviously in assistance to the Ukrainians?
I mean, the wedge is already there. And as the United States zigzags its way out of this war, and I've been saying this since March, that Trump is on a zigzag path out of the war. And as he gets out of this war, who he blames will be important. Whether he blames Zelensky and the Europeans or whether he blames Putin will be quite crucial to how much support America is prepared to provide to Ukraine remotely. That is, giving them intelligence and targeting information. But rhetorically, as the Americans get out of this war, there is a wedge between the United States and the European powers. And the Europeans are being very determined at the moment, because it's our neighborhood, it's our security we're talking about here, that we are supporting Ukraine. The Europeans are going to have to be a lot braver in the future than they've been in the past if they're going to stick to this line. And so, we on the one hand, we want to coax and encourage Trump to take a European position, and occasionally the Europeans are successful in that, but every now and again Putin gets to him, and every time Putin gets to him, he changes his view, and he goes to effectively a pro-Russia stance, and he beats up on Ukraine. And that divergence, transatlantic divergence, is getting greater all the time, and we don't know how big it will be, but I suspect it'll be a lot bigger than it is at the moment, and that is historically unprecedented. I mean, previous presidents have implied that they would go to war to maintain transatlantic unity. And this president looks as if he's going to give it away on a plate.
So that goes to show you that his own allies is finna turn on him. And see, DT is the face of all that is, it's finna happen, man. Because at first he was saying he would give weapons to the Tomahawks to the Ukraine, but he backtracked on that. So he don't want to give those weapons to him because he know that it's going to take a year for them to be able to use those weapons, and he doesn't want to send his own troops into that nation to shoot them at the bear. Now, the guy was saying that it's a wedge already being made between the West. And now you're seeing the 10 horns are ready to buck up against Babylon the Great. This is Revelation 17 and verse 16. It says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore." See that? The EU, the other NATO nations, man. And whore is Babylon the Great. It says, "and shall make her desolate." See that? They're going to shoot their missiles on Babylon the Great, man. You already seeing the wedge already made, man. And this is not what I'm thinking. Now, what I'm saying, this is what this man came out and plainly said. It's a wedge between the West. "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire." And what's going to burn her with fire? It ain't talking about coming with a match and just lighting Babylon the Great on fire. No, it's talking about those thermonuclear missiles, man. They're going to turn and burn her with fire. "For power hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will." See that? That's the trap, the snare that is laid for the hammer of the earth, man. This is what the Lord had set for Babylon the Great, man. "For power hath put in their hearts and their minds to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua be fulfilled." And we're coming close to the time of the Lord's word to be fulfilled. "And the woman which thou sawest is that great city, Babylon the Great, which reigneth over the kings of the earth," man. So that power that Esau had over here in Babylon the Great has made him prideful against every nation on the face of the earth. And that's why the hammer of the earth is being set to be destroyed, man. And he has no clue about that. Let me get this first.
Donald Trump is the first president in U.S. history to cut off SNAP benefits to people in America. So as of the end of next week, SNAP benefits are going to be frozen. They go away. And that affects millions and millions of people in America and certainly in Massachusetts. We're currently evaluating what we can do. Obviously, it's a time to give as much as you can to our food pantries who do a wonderful job. I'll be meeting with my anti-hunger strike force that I stood up a while ago to talk more with them about what we can do to feed families here. But it's unbelievable. First time in American history that a president, during a shutdown, has cut off food to families. That's what's happening right now. It's a choice that Donald Trump is making. He can choose to reverse that. I strongly urge him to do so. Don't take food away from people. Don't take food off the table of Americans.
So you go. Why would they open it back up when they got the people right where they want them? And see, all these military retirees and these people that's been retired from the government, they're going to suffer as well, man. And that's why they're not going to open it back up, man, because everything is perfectly set in motion, down to this economy crashing, man, the dollar crashing, them not giving the food to the people. It's going to create chaos, man. They're going to have to bring in martial law. Jacob's trouble, man, full force. And man, it's written all over it's written all over his face, as the song would say. It's written all over him. It's written all over the face of Babylon the Great, man, which he is a symbol of that place, this place, man. And you see, holy shit, Fed Chairman Jerome Powell just announced the economy under Donald Trump has led to fewer job gains, higher unemployment, higher inflation, and a lower GDP than Biden. And he always brag about Biden being stupid, and which, I mean, all of them the same. But he always brag about the economy was crazy. He didn't know what he was doing. You know what he says. But this goes to show you that he is the face of the end. Let me let him go into it.
Good afternoon. My colleagues and I remain squarely focused on achieving our dual mandate goals of maximum employment and stable prices for the benefit of the American people. While the unemployment rate remains low, it has edged up. Job gains have slowed and downside risks to employment have risen. At the same time, inflation has risen recently and remains somewhat elevated. In support of our goals, and in light of the shift in the balance of risks, today the Federal Open Market Committee decided to lower our policy interest rate by 0.25 percentage point. We also decided to continue to reduce our securities holdings. I'll have more to say about monetary policy after briefly reviewing economic developments. Recent indicators suggest that growth of economic activity has moderated. GDP rose at a pace of around 1.5% in the first half of the year, down from 2.5% last year. The moderation in growth largely reflects a slowdown in consumer spending. In contrast, business investment in equipment and intangibles has picked up from last year's pace. Activity in the housing sector remains weak. In our summary of economic projections, the median participant projects GDP to rise 1.6% this year and 1.8% next year, a touch stronger than projected in June.
There you go, man. The economy is crashing. Nobody's going to be working here soon because it's a trickle-down effect. Once one group of people is not working, shit, nobody's going to be able to work because one group of people pays another. You go in these restaurants, man, it's going to be total chaos, man. So you're seeing a spiral effect of the economy, the dollar. We are at the end, man. And it's plain to see, man. If you seeking Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, you should see it plain, man. This is Isaiah 47 verse 1. He says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground there is no throne. Virgin daughter is the modern day Babylon was in Iraq, but this is the daughter of the country of Babylon, where the country was. So it's spiritually, it's telling you this is the daughter of that place. This is the virgin daughter of it. No war, never been touched. It's a virgin, man. Continued on at the end. O virgin daughter of Babylon, sit on the ground. There is no throne. O daughter of the Chaldees, same thing. It says, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate, man. This place is not going to be looked at as tender and delicate anymore, man. The American dream, finished. The richest country in the earth, finished. Take the millstone and grind meal. Uncover the locks, make bare the leg. Uncover thy thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. See that the sins of Babylon the Great is being uncovered, man. Every nation is seeing this place for what it really is. Yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. As for our Redeemer, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. So the Lord is coming back to take this place down, man. He's coming back to eliminate Babylon the Great. We're telling you through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, get prepared, man, mentally and spiritually, because this devil is going down, man. We don't have to make lessons going into anything about the history anymore. This is all about prophecy, because prophecy is popping right off the page, man. You know, when I first came into truth, the apostles made a lot of videos going to breakdowns and history, and now it's all about prophecy, because this is what's going on right now. The Lord is showing you the prophecies of end times are here. We're at the end of this man's world, man. The end of this man's kingdom. This is Revelation 14 and verse 12. It says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? And Lucifer just means light bearer, the one that, claim to have the light, which, to symbolize like the Illuminati and these elite. They are Lucifer, man. It says, son of the morning, how art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nation? See that? Lucifer didn't fall from heaven, where Yahweh Bashem Yahushua sit. It's the elite that is on the left-hand side of Lucifer that's controlling the earth right now. Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. They are being brung down from rulership, man, from power. Not them falling from heaven, where Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is. They're falling out of power, man. Verse 13, it says, for thou hast said in thy heart, in thy mind, I will ascend into heaven. See that they've been trying to control and rule over the people forever, man. I would say forever. I'm not gonna say forever, but since they've been in power, they've been trying to find a way to rule over the people. It says, I will exalt my throne amongst the stars. I will let me slow down. For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of power. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation of the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. And that's why his agenda is to bring in a digital ID and to ultimately put you that small grain of rice in your hand to be chipped with the MOTB. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell. See that? To a low estate, a low rulership class. And that's ultimately being hardcore bondage. Not Lucifer being brung down from the heavens to a hell where it's under the ground. No. It's talking about the Edomites that rule this earth, man. That are the physical counterparts of Satan on earth. That are going to be brung down to the lowest parts of hell, man. Which at hell going into a condition. They're going into a low, very low condition. Lord, and even we were, as Israelites, being under curses. Because they're going to receive double at the hand of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man. This is written. This isn't what I think. This ain't what I want to happen. This is what's going to happen because it's written by Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man. This is Revelation 18 and verse 1. It says, and after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried with a mighty He cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and becometh the habitation of devils, and behold, of every foul spirit, in the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunken of her wine, of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And this is explaining Babylon the Great to the T, man. All the nations of the earth have been drunken off the rulership of Babylon the Great. This place is full of unclean spirits, man. And all these demons that you can see physically now, man. There's a lot of demons in Babylon the Great, man. Verse 4 says, And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and power hath remembered her iniquity. See that? We read in the hammer of the earth is being brung down. This is the snare, the trap that's being put before Esau Edom, man. Remember her, so I can reward her, even as she have rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. See, the Lord is going to give Esau double than what we had. That cup of judgment, he's going to receive double of that. And he's being brung down to that hell we speak about. That low condition, man. And a cup which she have filled to her double. It's like how much she have glorified herself. See that how he glorifies itself? Symbolizes Babylon the Great, man. How much she has glorified herself and lived deliciously. See that? Lived deliciously, man. Had the best of everything, man. So much torment and sorrow give her. And this is what the nations are going to turn on Babylon the Great, man. Even his own allies, man. It says, For she hath said in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow. I shall see no sorrow. See, this is what he thinks, man. That's why he was speaking about Colombia. He speaks the same thing about Venezuela. They're thugs, and everybody's, if they don't agree, they're against him. That's how he feels, man. And that's Esau in general. But he thinks he is the glory of kingdoms, man. The queen of all the kingdoms of the earth. And that's why he's puffed up with pride that no one could ever bring him down, man. Verse 8, it says, Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, man. See that? We just read in Revelation 17 that the nation is going to turn against her. The own nation is going to burn her. And she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, power who judgeth her. See, the Lord is setting him up to be judged, man. Esau is being set up to be judged. And he don't got a clue, man. He think he's going to continue to rule forever, man. That's why he thinks he's going to sit a queen forever. He feel like he's going to bring in his agenda. He's going to come against the Israelites, and he's going to destroy the Israelites, and he's going to rule after that. But he don't understand the Lord is going to fight against him, man. For what you've done to the children of Israel, man. This is Revelation 16 and verse 19. It says, And the great city was divided into 3 parts, and the cities of the nations fell, and great Babylon came in remembrance before power, to give unto her the cup of wine of the fierceness of his wrath. See that? We just read in 18 about that cup being passed to him, man. And every island fled away, and the mountains were not found, and there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven. And that great hail that's going to rain down is going to be the same thing that happened in Sodom and Gomorrah. The Lord is going to rain down fire from heaven, which we know in this modern time is going to be those thermal intercontinental missiles, ballistic missiles, man. And there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven, every stone about the weight of a talent, and men blaspheme power because of the plagues of the hail. For the plague thereof was exceeding great. So the destruction is going to be great, man. And I pray I continue to stay on this straight and narrow path, man, because there's no way out of this judgment, man. This trap is already set, man. And you're seeing it come to pass. This is Revelation 18. I drop down to verse 10. It says, standing afar off, for the fear of her torment. Saying saying at last, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. See that? In 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth her merchandise anymore, man. So that's it, man. That's checkmate. The judgments are set to come, and we're seeing them come to pass right before our eyes, man. So I'm in it there. Shalom. Shalom.